So, you want to know how to play Squirrel Girl. She is one of the easier characters mechanically in Marvel Rivals, but she can still pack quite a punch. We're going to go over her main mechanics, how in my opinion to best use her as a whole, positioning, her ultimate, who she's good against, and who her main counters are. Squirrel Girl, in a nutshell, haha, get it, has three main mechanics. The first one being her tail bounce, the second her squirrel blockade, and the third her mammal bond. The first one, the tail bounce or her high jump, can launch you high into the air for some decent movement. The squirrel blockade will lock enemies in place if they are hit with it. You do get a little arch to showcase where it'll land, but you can only hold on to it for so long before you're forced to let go. So make sure you're aiming well with it. This can also hold enemies for longer the longer you hold it down for, but you can use it instantly if you're in a pinch. Her last main ability, Mammal Bond, will allow you to reuse one of her abilities while on cooldown. So if you need to get to a higher vertical vantage, you need to get out of dodge, or you missed your first squirrel blockade, you can use it again for redemption. She will also get an extra ability if there's a Spider-Man on your team from the Spider-Man team up, but it's essentially a second squirrel blockade. It's just a little sticky web. So essentially one of her abilities doubled. Her shots are projectiles and do have some drop to them, but less drop than you, or at least I, originally thought. They can go pretty far and have no damage drop off though, if you do hit your enemies directly. They can also ricochet off of walls, so you don't need direct line of sight to damage enemies. Her shots cannot crit, but do AoE damage instead with slight damage reduction within the AoE. She can consistently 3-shot most any healer or DPS. 2 hits will take them down to a sliver, so if they're pre-damaged or already have been in a fight, they're done for. Her ultimate is also pretty simple. It's just an army of squirrels that you can throw towards enemies. They do bounce off of walls too and deal massive damage. Her squirrel army can be damaged though, so be careful when you're using it, as if you use it while an enemy ultimate is going off or you're already receiving enemy fire, it can be destroyed. It can be super useful though if you're defending or attacking an objective and they're all huddled around in close proximity. For heroes or hero types that she's good against, I find her super useful for dealing with DPS, getting massive burst damage on tanks, and disrupting the enemy backlines and healers. If you catch a tank by surprise and pepper them with 2 to 3 shots, get their attention, then lock them in place with your squirrel blockade, get another 2 to 3 shots off, they're either dead or almost dead. If their tank has overextended and they don't have heals, or if you just have one more DPS or tank with you for damage, they're basically done for. Really, the only tank that I found that'll give her a bit of trouble is Venom, and he has very high mobility, which can make him hard to hit, and with his shield, he has overall more survivability. She can take down Magneto's or Doctor Strange's shields very quickly too, so don't hesitate to spam their shields. If you don't get them after their shields are down, if you're working with your team, someone else should. However, don't throw your squirrel blockade at the shields, as it will block and destroy your blockade. She's also super useful against the Punisher's turret, so she doesn't need direct line of sight. You can arc your shots properly to destroy it super quickly for your team, or just kind of hang back in the back line and just kind of pepper it. Some counters to Squirrel Girl though are high movement enemies like Spider-Man, Venom, Magic, or other characters in the air like Iron Man or the Human Torch. Since her shots aren't hit scan, it can sometimes be hard to lead your shots to hit them properly if they're moving or flying around. For characters like Spider-Man and Venom, using your squirrel blockade is a must. If you're able to land one on Spider-Man, it is basically an auto kill for you. With Venom, since he has much more survivability, make sure you lock him around teammates so you can burst damage him before he escapes. For character positioning, you can absolutely be on the front lines, but enemies can sometimes be, again, hard to hit if you're not leading or arcing your shots properly, or if you're first just learning her. She is definitely more of a spam character, so sitting in the back lines or up at a vantage point, spamming your shots down into a choke point or into the back line, I find is the most effective way to use her. So, in a nutshell, that's how you play Squirrel Girl. She's overall best utilized for disrupting the enemy back lines and for burst damage. Again, overall, a pretty simple hero, at least in comparison to some of the other heroes, but still plenty to think about and plenty of versatility. She is a very useful hero and can be perfect in the appropriate situations. This is my first time doing a video, anything like this. I've been really enjoying Marvel Rivals. I'm hoping to potentially do more of these videos in the future, so definitely let me know if you have enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see more with different characters. Let me also know if there's anything I can do better, anything that I missed, anything that I can improve upon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and look forward to seeing you all in the next one.